Go ahead,
Bob
Bob.
Hockers, Fox Sports for Jeff. What do you hope this does for Alex? I mean, has 11 top 10s, is second in the series, but yet he hadn't won in so long. A lot of people questioning whether he could do it.
You know, it's so important. These guys work so hard. And you get to, you know, certainly I get to spend time with guys like Blake, and you see him come in to Hendrick Motorsports, and there's a lot of pressure and expectations there. And so that's the same way for Alex and all the drivers. And so it's important that, you know, you gel and the chemistry comes and the effort's there, but you got to win. At some point, you got to win, not just because you're at Hendrick Motorsports. It's because, you know, it's really hard to get the team where they need to be to compete at the highest level on a regular basis, make the playoffs, then compete at a high level in the playoffs without victories coming to just remind everybody that we're doing the right things and we're working in the right direction and you know, we're working well together. So, yeah, I think today was a huge day for both of these guys and the whole team, and I couldn't be more proud or happy for the whole group because you know, I know what kind of pressure that they've been feeling, and it's amazing for all of us now, you know, to have all four cars in the playoffs, and it's probably a bit of a reset now, right? Of okay, it's that weight just keeps getting heavier and heavier every week, and I think it just makes it harder and harder. And then they come in here and get asked a lot of questions. So I'm sure for both of them, it's nice to have this one off their back and then just start focusing forward on you know, getting where they need to be in the playoffs.
Speaking of pressure, it'd be nice if this race could go without rain, but I'm curious, how do you feel about this event overall and whether it should remain on the schedule?
Well, I don't know about you, but I saw a huge number of upgrades and improvements this weekend from just learning things from last year. And so I felt like the overall experience for everybody was a really, really good one. Again, the weather was good all weekend until today. And yeah, you want to have good weather, and that's important for an event. But at the same time, I mean, other than for the fans and the competitors that, you know, are soaking wet and having to deal with the pressures that, you know, Blake and the crew chiefs and the drivers are having, because those are tricky conditions. I mean, those are really challenging conditions, and you know, you're going and you're stopping, you're slowing down. It's just hard to get into a rhythm, but not to mention just finding the grip if you're you know, a driver trying to figure out where the line is and how to manage the tires and everything else. But you know, other than those things, I think from a fan perspective, watching at home or where I was sitting in a drier place, it makes for a great show. You know, you like on a road course, in my opinion, a drying track versus, you know, a dry track going to wet. And I mean, at the beginning of the race, I was blown away that they were able to be on slicks. When these guys came in and put the slicks on, you know, I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, no way, it's too early, it's too wet. And they got heat in the tires, and the tires stuck. And so they, you know, put on a great show. And then at the end, I thought, no way can you stay out on tires and win this thing, and that they did. So, I mean, I thought other than just running out of time and not being able to get the full race in and having to stop, you know, it's a really entertaining event, and I hope it does stay on the circuit. I think this is a very important race for us because as I'm walking around the city yesterday and today, it's hearing people that, you know, are saying, oh, the NASCAR race is here, you know, and you can just tell that there are people that are here, even in the hotels and in the restaurants, that they know that NASCAR is here. They know that there's a race happening here, and a lot of those folks maybe never watched NASCAR before. So it's a great way for me to not only show that we're capable of racing in locations like this and right in the center of a major metropolitan city, which is an important part of the market, but an exposure, but it's also opening up the door to a lot of new fans. So I not only hope we continue to come back here, I hope we can try to experiment with this in other places too.
And Jeff, going back to what you were saying about, you know, there's pressure to win, not just at Hendrick, but just period in the Cup Series. I don't know if you heard Alex's NBC interview, but you know, he mentioned the brain injury from 2 years ago. He mentioned the broken back last year. He sounded like a huge weight was off his shoulders, and he you know, sounded like a guy who basically saved his job. So I know we don't deal in rumors and speculation. We don't like talking about that, but there's been a lot of chatter. how far does this win go toward maybe shoring up his long-term future, or securing him at Hendrick?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody recognized, one, he's been great. I mean, he's put in all the effort. He's done all the right things. I mean, Blake, coming on board had a lot to do with Alex and their relationship and who he thought could be the right fit for him. And they've done a great job together, but it hasn't come without challenges. He's been through a lot. You really want guys like that to find their way when they've had to struggle and have, just seems like right as he's getting into a stride, boom, something would happen. And so I think that's why this is so important, not just for him, and the team, but for him personally. As far as we're concerned, Ally loves him and we love him. He's a car guy, and there's a reason why he came to Hendrick Motorsports, and he's proven that he can win. And then today was not an easy set of circumstances, and he proved he can win in these tough conditions as well on a road course. So I understand why people want to talk, and it's a tough business. And when you're at Hendrick Motorsports, you do expect, especially when the other three have won, to be in that same category, and it hasn't been happening. So hopefully this dispels a lot of the rumors.